I mean a duel, real life duel, where only one person walks away. We can meet with guns, bottles, knives, or books and equations.
Makeup truck when you are on set. Men like to walk up to each other and...
Y'all, did Terrence Howard just threaten to pull up on Corey Holcomb? Yup, because Corey called him out for being a little too freaky at those Hollywood parties. And no, we are not making this up. Just days ago, Terrence had the internet in a chokehold after he started spilling tea about how some of your fave celebs had to do a little extra behind closed doors to make it big. While airing all that out, Terrence made it very clear he'd never give up his manhood like that. He said he's way too much of a man for those types of games. And folks ate it up because, honestly, who expects Terrence to lie about something like that? But Corey Holcomb wasn't buying it. He popped in with some spicy questions, hinting that maybe Terrence wasn't as squeaky clean as he claims, and might have been about that party life himself. That didn't sit right with Terrence at all. He got so heated, he pretty much challenged Corey to a showdown, like the kind only one person walks away from. Yes, it's that serious. So let's get into the mess.
You give up your manhood? I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing.
Okay, so for anyone who missed it, the Terrence Howard interview that's been blowing up the internet is the one he just did on the PBD podcast. And y'all, he did not hold back. Terrence dropped some serious tea about what really goes on behind the scenes in the industry, like Diddy allegedly being the diddler and this whole wild man card initiation ritual. Yeah, it's a lot.
Short life in
Why do you think that is with the creative side?
Well, because losing out money, you got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far. You know, who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what he had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head.
According to Terrence, the industry runs a certain kind of way. And if you want to make it in, you've got to be ready to give up what he calls your man card. He went on to say that's exactly why so many male celebrities end up strung out on drugs, because when it came time to do things that went against their core values, they didn't feel like they had the power to say no.
But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things. When you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
But Terrence didn't stop there. He went on to spill the tea about how Diddy tried to get into his pants and violate him. He said he had gotten a call from Diddy asking if he could take him through some acting lessons, but it would turn out that Diddy only wanted to put him through The Mattress because when he got to Diddy's place for the supposed acting lessons, Diddy just kept eyeballing him. Terrence said he even tried to change tactics and asked Diddy to listen to some of his music, to break the ice, but nothing worked, as Diddy was set on getting Terrence to take off his clothes and spread them thanks according to Terrence. When he finally realized what Diddy was trying to do, he cut off all communication and never hung out with him again.
Have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the
Hell
consequences
yeah.
when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to get you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it.
Now, this whole story caught people off guard. But let's be real, the end result wasn't all that shocking. Anyone who knows Terrence knows he's super straight. Like, straight to the point that he feels the need to remind us of his masculinity every other day. And y'all know how it goes. When someone keeps overcompensating like that, it usually means they're hiding something. That's where Corey Holcomb stepped in. See, most folks didn't really question Terrence's story at first, because as we said, he's always throwing that alpha male energy in our faces. But once Corey chimed in, he made some very interesting comments about Terrence. To be fair, Corey does agree there's way too much freaky business going on behind the scenes in that industry. Like, everybody's either getting freaked out or doing some next-level weird stuff.
Trailer, it's like where the gangs meet up on the Backdoria side.
Chili doggers.
The chili doggers. Listen, man. When you on set, you go to the makeup truck. Do you know if a heterosexual male is in the makeup truck while everybody else is in there, you throw off everything? The makeup truck, when you are on set, men like to walk up to each other and but if you in there, a heterosexual male, they be like, this is how they do. They all let you know. They gotta look. He in here, yo.
The one, yeah.
The guy who likes only vaginas in here. They see it with their eyes. When you walk in the makeup thing, this is how they do.
But then, Corey hit Terrence with a real one. If the whole industry's like that, how did he manage to keep his so-called man card? Corey brought up Terrence's lead role as Lucius Lyon on the hit series Empire, basically asking how he held. It together on a set where the off-camera rumors were loud. We've all heard the whispers. Behind the scenes, the Empire cast was allegedly involved in some wild drama. Rumor has it they used to throw season wrap parties that got so intense, the cast needed a cool down after each one. Now, these rumors were never officially confirmed, but supposedly there was hella tension on set, fueled by huge egos and clashing. No personalities. And when the season wrapped, that's when the real party started. Word is, those events had an open flow of booze, substances, and yes, a lot of man-on-man action. After the final season aired, 50 Cent stirred the pot big time, suggesting the show lost views because of all the gay stuff. He even said, "There are 3 million less viewers who tuned into last night's Empire episode. Did you watch it? We couldn't take the extra gay stuff or celebrity drama." At the time, he got dragged online for it, but later tried to clarify that he wasn't talking about the plot itself, just the wild rumors he kept hearing. He posted, "Must be a slow news week. They're saying 50 said Empire lost views because of too much gay stuff. I just said cookie call me, but that kid's gonna mess up the show. Everyone's waiting on Power anyway." And when Vivica A. Fox, who was also on Empire, got asked about 50's comments, fans clocked that she got weirdly defensive, flipping it on him like he was the one doing too much. But now, folks think the reason she was so pressed is because she knew exactly what was really going down with the cast, and she didn't want to accidentally spill the truth.
That's when 50 Cent blamed the second season ratings dip on gay stuff.
First of all, the pot calling the kettle black is all I'm saying.
Ooh, pot calling the kettle black. Huh.
Whoa. That was some tea. That was shade. That was major shade.
Pot calling the kettle black. So, you're not insinuating that
he's gay?
50 Cent is...
But everything started to unravel when Braysher Gray popped out with an alleged lawsuit against Will Smith and Diddy, accusing them of blackballing his career after he stopped letting them get handsy with him. Jaguar Wright was actually the First one to spill the tea on what industry elites allegedly do to young men. She name-dropped both Will and Jada, claiming they invite young guys like Brysher into their home under the pretense of mentorship, only to cross major lines. Just. Like Jaguar said, Brysher first met Will and Diddy after landing his breakout role as Hakeem Lyon on Empire. At first they posed as mentors, but it didn't take long before, allegedly, they started dragging him into their so-called freak-off parties. Jaguar Wright didn't stop there. She broke down how Brysher was allegedly passed around in the industry, thanks to his then-manager, Charlie Mack, and even his own mother, Andrea Mayberry. According to Jaguar, both of them worked together to serve Brysher up to Diddy and other powerful men in the industry when he was just 17.
And when I say Andy, I'm talking about Bashir's mom. I'm gonna kick you in your and then I'm gonna go to work North Philly style. And Charlie, you happy now? He's a gay porn star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell. I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. You.
At first, Charlie was working alone, but because of how young Brysher was, he had to bring in Andrea because Bryce couldn't legally sign his contracts by himself. Yet, if it was up to Charlie, he probably would have preferred it if Bryce was a little bit older, so he wouldn't have to deal with those pesky legalities. But Jaguar blamed Andrea for dropping the ball. Where her son was concerned, just because she was paid off, Jaguar also revealed that when Burker started spiraling, Andrea came to her begging for help with her son. According to Jaguar, she advised Andrea to get Bracker far away from Charlie because he was just going to keep using Bryce until there was nothing left of him.
That bitch came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the fuck away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bashir, to help her get Bashir out of California into Chicago State to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is, she wasn't nothing but a drug dealer's whore. That's all she...
But Andrea completely ignored Jaguar's warning, because pulling Brysher away from Charlie would have meant one thing: the checks would stop rolling in. And keep in mind, by this point, Brysher was already broken. He had started turning to substances just to make it through the day.
Nothing is bothering me. It's just what's bothering me is that being a celebrity sometimes comes with, like, everybody wants to be successful in a celebrity and stuff like that, but it comes with, bullshit sometimes, and,
But hold up, that's not even the full story. If you look at photos of Brysher before and after he started working on Empire, you can literally see the light fade from his eyes. Word on the street is, what really pushed him over the edge wasn't just Diddy and Will allegedly passing him around like a tennis ball, it was also what went down on set. As the new kid, Brysher was allegedly bullied by some of the older cast members. And according to reports, a few of them even made him do certain favors, if you catch the drift. So when Terrence started talking slick about how corrupt the industry is, people were quick to clap back. Like, sir, you're part of the same culture you're dragging. And here's the thing. Terrence is always shouting from the rooftops about how he's the straightest man alive, but for some reason, he can't stop inserting himself into gay conversations. Before that PBD interview, he once said men in the industry were being emasculated and turned into power bottoms, especially black men. His exact words were, "With the new formula, most men are made to be effeminate and stripped of their power. They let white men be strong, but not black men." He went on to say, "I'm not removing chromosomes to fit into someone's story. They need to expand their stories to let men be men and still appreciate a woman's beauty." At the time, nobody really blinked. But now, people are starting to wonder, how does Terrence know so much about all this if he's never been involved? You know what they say? Where there's smoke, there's almost always fire. When Corey Holcomb responded to Terrence's comments, he tried to act like it was all out of concern. He even invited Terrence to come on his show and tell his side, completely unfiltered. But Terrence? Yeah, he wasn't having it. Didn't bite at all.
Love him to come on the show because you know what I want to ask him? How was you able to work on the set of Empire as a heterosexual man? I know you were hated upon if you wasn't part of the Brown Hotel Rag crew.
That's funny.
I'm just saying, if you're not part of the disposable hotel rag mob, not gonna fit in on the...
He saw right through Corey's slick little game, and he wasn't here for any of it. Terrence clapped back hard, dropping a whole video putting Corey on blast. He called him out, saying if Corey had something to say, he should say it with his chest instead of hiding behind fair use laws. Terrence made it clear. Just because Corey's ducking behind legal shields doesn't mean he's fully protected, especially when he's out here trying to trash someone's name. Oh, but Terrence wasn't done yet, not even close.
When y'all talk about me, y'all need to talk to me. You see, once upon a time, if a man questioned another man's honor, he didn't do it from the shadows. He had to do it out in the open, with his name, his chest out, and his chin high. Not hiding behind the keyboard or tucked behind editing clips of fair use disclaimers. You see, citing Section 107 of the Copyright Act does not give you free rein to defame, misrepresent, or harm others' reputation. Fair use is not a shield for character assassination.
Then Terrence kicked it up a notch, telling Corey that if he really had a problem, they could settle it the old school way. Like, literally. He straight up suggested a duel where only one of them walks away alive, and said they could bring whatever weapons they wanted.
Take my words, my image, my ideas, and twist them to feed your fear and inflate your ego. If you profit off of my name while calling me a liar, then be prepared to stand behind your accusations. I've spent a lifetime earning the right to speak with the conviction about these truths that I speak. So if you want to tear that down, have the decency to come and say it directly to my face. But we're going to do this respectfully, otherwise we'll end in a duel. And I mean a duel, real life duel, where only one person walks away. We can meet with guns, bottles, knives, or books and equations. But we're going to do this like men. So, get ready.
So yeah, Terrence was not joking around. He made that crystal clear to Corey. But honestly, a lot of people felt like Terrence was doing way too much over what could have been a lighthearted comment. Sure, it's valid to be upset when someone says something you don't like, but threatening to roll up on them with knives, bottles, and pew-pews? Yeah, we can all agree that's taking it a little far. Now, a lot of people are thinking that Terrence's over-the-top reaction to being called gay might actually be him trying to suppress some deeper part of his own identity. Folks aren't holding back with their opinions either. One person said, I believe it. 1 minute he was on Empire, then poof, gone. Disappeared, vanished. Next thing you know, he's on YouTube acting wild. Another person added, he's definitely gotten down with gay acts to get to where he is today. He's a successful actor, but come on, think about it. Straight men don't do that. So, what do you think?